I didn't become an osteopath because of textbooks. It was because of pain. And this woman in my life changed everything. What's up, everyone? If you're new to this channel, my name is Dane. I am an osteopath and a health and fitness coach. I'm trying to put together a series of videos sharing some of the things that have helped me make an impact and improve a little bit better. As I'm gonna tell you, I'm still learning, but I hope you enjoy this. Let's get into it. It all started out with my obsession for sports, fitness, health, and my desire to find ways to improve my personal strength and fitness and becoming a better athlete. I had already become a personal trainer by American Council on Exercise, which is where I got my certification, the CPT, and I had already years of experience on training, and eventually I had back pain in my early 20s for many, many years, and I saw some doctors, some therapists, but nobody was able to really help me. Then I remember going through the book by David Goggins, Can't Hurt Me, and actually I got the audiobook, and in this version they mention Joe Hippensteel. He is the therapist of David Goggins. So I started doing some research, and I actually emailed Joe, and I found out that he's a trainer as well. He offers a certification which is called physiokinesiologist with his company named Ultimate Human Performance. And I remember talking to him on the phone. We spoke on speaker, so he actually wasn't able to see me, and we were talking about my back pain. And at that time I had a little bit of anatomical knowledge as a trainer, and he was able to let me do some movements and exercises over the phone, just telling me what to do. And then he asked me to describe what I was feeling, and he was very fast in finding out which muscles were maybe tight, where I had lack of range of motion. And I was fascinated. I was like, this system is very amazing. I want to learn more about it. So I actually flew out to California, San Diego, and I got on and did the certification to become a physiokinesiologist with him, which was an amazing experience. I got to stay at his personal house. So he taught me a lot of great things about the anatomy as well, how the body works, how the change of muscles and ligaments run through the body. And he also took us to the Navy SEAL headquarters down in San Diego, and we got to work with some Navy SEALs, which I was fascinated by. I was surrounded then by these special forces guys, and I could talk to them, you know, like friends. And this allowed me to learn a lot, to experience a lot, and I was super motivated. So within that time during the certification, I learned so much, and I was hooked, and I started being, you know, the perfect student. I would sit in first, I would come in first to the class, I would be the last one. I would ask him all these questions, and I started following his program down to the T. And for the first time, I was able to relieve my back pain, and that was an amazing transformation. So after the training, I was fascinated. I was working as a personal trainer at Crunch Fitness, and I remember I would fly back home to Tampa, and I had this guy. He was like 65, and he also, I noticed he had a lot of problems with his ranges of motion, lack of mobility, and he was stiff and tight. And I asked him, I was like, instead of doing this personal training right now, would you be open to me to try out some of the new stuff that I learned? So for 1 hour straight, we tried the new program that I learned. We did a lot of stretches, mobility work, range of motion, and I just went through these systems with him. And before and after, I asked him to like bend over and see if he could touch the ground with his hands, and it was like a major difference. And after this training, he got up from this test and he was able to touch the ground, where at first he could barely reach down to his knees, and he had tears in his eyes. And he said to me, I've never in the last 15 years felt so amazing. And this was the first time for me also a very satisfying feeling, because I feel like I have this syndrome of helping people, and I was able to make a difference in his life. So I was blown away by this time, and I wanted to learn more. I wanted to go deeper and find out more about the human body, the anatomy, how everything is connected and how it works. And I remember flying back to Germany talking to one of my friends, and he was a physical therapist who was in training to become an osteopath. And I sat down with him, and we had a heart-to-heart conversation for like about an hour, and it came down to like 3 options, saying, hey, you could be becoming a natural health practitioner, you could become a physical therapist, or you could become an osteopath. And I really didn't know much about osteopathy and what it means to do this kind of work. So, I go on Wikipedia and Google, I start doing reading and research. And as I read about Andrew Taylor Still and how he discovered and founded the principles of osteopathy based on the science and the laws of nature, and incorporating the belief system that the human body is capable to heal itself. And that really resonated with me, because also I genuinely believe that we have the ability to heal ourselves if we give our body everything that it needs. And most of the time, the treatment that we end up getting is something to numb the pain, which is nothing but a temporary fix. I always wanted to find out about the root cause of pain. I wanted to know what exactly it was that is causing back pain, and how can I really get rid of it and incorporate it into training and being able to fully move again and have this childlike mobility, which I believe we all should have. I remember Joe saying, we don't get old, we lose mobility. And now that I look around with this lifestyle that we developed as human beings, we lack mobility and motion. Like most of the times you're sitting at your desk hunched over, you're sitting in the car, you're sitting on the sofa, you're sitting at a table, and it's not natural. And we are born to move. We should be able to go through the full range of motion in every single joint. My grandmother just turned 88, and in the last video she was talking about what kept her healthy. And this is one of the best advices, is being able to move. She still lifts weights twice a week, and she goes on numerous walks, and she's constantly in action. Like, she doesn't sit around a lot. And this is what I think is going to make the biggest difference. There's the saying, motion is lotion, which is very true. The more you end up moving, the less pain you're going to have. So I decided to get my degree in osteopathy, and I still remember sitting in class for the very first time. Here I am thinking I already know a little bit about how everything works, because I got my 2 degrees, and I sat down and I was like, what the fuck? Like, this guy was next level. Like, he was able to dissect the body and go in such depth that I've never heard before. I was fascinated by it as well. I studied it for years and going through books and understanding more about it. And I have been able to learn so much, and I am still learning a lot. I'm not here to say that I know everything. I think being humble and curious is what helps me continue to grow. And after finishing my degree, I was able to start working with patients and just apply some of the principles of osteopathy. And I worked with a lot of people who had been in pain for many years, and they haven't been able to get any type of relief. And I was fortunate enough to make a difference in their life. And I've also been able to work with a lot of athletes, helping them overcome injury, increase their performance, increase their health. And this is why I started coaching people as well. So if you want to get rid of some of the pain that you're dealing with, if you have lack in mobility, if you're missing range of motion, if you want to increase your performance and health, you can shoot me a message on Instagram. I'll put the link down below. And thank you very much, and I hope I'll see you in the next video.